Welcome to the wrestling show. I think this show could be convicted guilty because it's fucking guilty of being dog shit. I'm Cav Manning.
Whoa, hold on.
Yes.
Our show is not shit because their show is shit. We do the best we can with the shit that we're given.
I mean this show as in the wrestling fucking that we have to watch. These wrestling shows. Raw. Mostly Raw. I'm Cav Manning from the Lingus Mafia podcast. All my nonsense is at Lingus Mafia. And you got your number one in all your wrestling news, your number one man, and that is Billy Body.
Yo.
So it's getting fucking rough, Billy. I'm going to start telling you, I don't know if I was very close to not watching any of Raw. Like, not any, but I'm an hour in, and I'm like, fuck, man. And even the girlfriend goes, let's watch something else. And I go, I can't. I have to talk about it tomorrow. She goes, you say it's horrible anyway. Have it on a second TV. You don't even need to listen to it. I'm like, that might be the case. Because I'm like, I don't need to fucking listen to any of it. And I'm like, I really don't know if I wasn't doing this, if I wouldn't watch it live. That's 100% sure. I would skim it within an hour the next day. I can't.
I took a lot of breaks today. I didn't want to watch it with Austin up. You know what? I started watching it, and I basically just made the decision that this is actually unfair for him to go to school and then come home and watch this. This is what he gets to do after school. Mm-hmm. I was like,
you're punishing him.
Actually, yeah, no, I'm not even making a joke. Like, I honestly think it's not appropriate for a kid to go to school and come home at like 3:30, 4 o'clock and then consume like 2 hours and 2.5 hours of his time after school on this. And then he's only got another, hour and a half or whatever before he goes to bed. I mean, he goes tutoring on Tuesday anyway, so he would have had to only have watched 2 hours and would have gone to tutoring, and then he would have gone to bed. But I figured, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to like go to the food court afterwards, and then we're going to go around and walk around some gaming shops and pick up a couple of things that we need, like a charging deck for the 2 controllers and a couple of other bits, and magazine shops and whatever's open at the moment. We just go around the shops and get some food, because it's doing something that isn't coming home to watching this. It doesn't warrant the effort of to make it an organized event where we come home from school and say, oh, on Tuesdays we come home from school and we watch Raw. No, I remember me and Craig, who's in our group chat, so I'd pick him up from work every Tuesday at 5, and we would go and get this fried chicken place. Like, I'm talking like not KFC or anything like that, but I'm talking this was like fucking fresh and greasy and
mom and pop.
Yeah, mom and pop, basically, as you would. Yeah, they would put it on. They would make it fresh, like on. It was like greasy as fuck. Like, it was unhealthy as fuck, but they'd make it there and then, like, for you. They'd put this fucking massive fat piece of chicken breast with obviously like the coating on it, whatever it is, breadcrumb, whatever, and just whack a bunch of mayonnaise on it and then make a chicken burger, and then you get the chips and everything. And I would drive home as quickly as can, and then we'd start like Raw for 2 hours and never regret it once. And that was it. I don't want to tie this in with the same system. It's not worthy. It's not event worthy. It's not planner worthy. No. It's worthy of, I'm just going to watch it. Like, I'm going to get it done, like, while I'm opening my mail and sending my texts and doing my morning.
Cleaning the rooms.
Facebooking, Facebooking and Instagramming and, like, looking. I do, like, an hour of social media in the morning, like, just looking through everybody's fucking what this idiot said, what that idiot said, and just basically waking up to whatever's going on. I check the NBA results. I check off my props. But I do it now with Raw in the background, and I actually look and see if I'm going to actually like put my kid through it, or whether he can watch it himself when he wants to, or whether we'll just catch up with it at the weekend. We'll just try and get it done before SmackDown, and I'll say, you can forward this bit. No, watch this bit. You can forward this bit. forward 5 minutes here,
Jesus.
watch this. But like, I break it, I make it so that he doesn't have to watch the entire thing, but I do. But I'm still not really like watching. And it's like these people who watch this, this fan base that they're kind of catering to will say, "Oh, well, you're missing a great match," or "Oh, that was who cares? I don't care."
That's the
like, it doesn't matter
problem
anymore.
is if the great match shows up in the middle of you falling asleep, it doesn't, I'm not attentive enough to realize if something great happens. I told you I didn't know the Shane and fucking Strowman thing even happened because I was like, when was that? And then I see the green slime and I go, oh shit, that happened before that? Because I was fucking drifting away looking at something else. I'm on YouTube. I'm fucking around, and then you miss shit because you're not attentive to it because it's fucking trash.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and again, the good match thing means nothing when back in the day you'd get up and be like, all right, Shawn Michaels is on, or Shelton Benjamin's on.
I was gonna say Shawn and Benjamin. I remember that. That was the oh my god.
But the TV wasn't about that. The TV was about building towards the pay-per-views, and then they'd go and do the match there, and you'd brace yourself for the pay-per-view, and you'd be like, oh, I'll see a couple of good matches tonight, and I wonder who's going to win, and I wonder how they're going to do that story or whatever. That was the whole point of the pay-per-view. It's like
the pay-per-view is that payoff. That's where I want my match to be.
I don't need these pay-per-view matches. It sounds like they'd be going, oh, why don't you want great pay-per-view matches every week? Because they don't mean anything. Like, no, it doesn't mean anything. Like if all of this, if these matches are happening constantly, because the thing is that the matches being good are a bonus. The fact is that you're supposed to, on pay-per-view, put together the strongest characters together and basically determine who comes out on top of the story that you've told between the characters that were worthy of being on pay-per-view. Now, what is pay-per-view? Pay-per-view is like longer versions of the Raw matches with slightly more definitive finishes. Like, the pay-per-views are absolutely pointless if you're going to put this on Raw. Like, if Matt Riddle pins Randy Orton on Raw, and then the pay-per-view now has to be Randy Orton is pissed off. You know what? They won't even do that. They'll beat Matt Riddle next week. Randy Orton will win next week, and then they'll put it on pay-per-view anyway. So, like, then they'll just be like, oh, you get the third match on pay-per-view. Like, who fucking cares? Like, then all we're doing is we're back to the point where Randy Orton we all expected Orton to beat Riddle, but then we got a surprise. So instead of like building off that and creating and giving someone new, even though he's beyond creating now, so killed him. What they'll do is they'll give Orton now 2 wins in a row, one on TV, one on pay-per-view, and it'll be like nothing happened because by the end of Backlash, we'll just be back to, and I'm not calling it what it's called. By the end of Backlash, we'll just get back to where Orton was, and Riddle will be back to where Riddle was. So it's all like completely pointless. And one side of it makes me just think to myself, they must be deliberately doing nothing because they just think to themselves, we're so close out of this pandemic, so we're just going to do nothing. But that's just giving them way too much credit. It's like I'm almost saying, oh, they've got this pocketbook of all these ideas that they've saved up, and they're going to like shoot their load with them all over our faces. Like, no, we don't think. That's bullshit. They don't have any ideas.
They don't. No,
there's no book.
We thought that originally. Remember, we said, oh, maybe they'll use that pandemic time to like they'll slow everything down, so then it'll build until we finally get something. I mean, the old days was nobody touched each other unless it was somebody being jumped. And it was a one-sided beatdown out of the blue. No one would touch each other for a couple months, and so you had a build to where finally we get these guys fucking to fight each other. And it was like, otherwise someone would be jumped during an interview, and they would drag them through the ring and beat the shit out of them and leave them laying. But the good guy would never be able to fucking get his hands until it was time. Like Macho and Jake and all that shit. It was never anybody fucking had their match.
But this is the thing, right? The thing is with that is that fucking you still have a TV show to do. Like there are still people watching this. You cannot let this number like disintegrate down any further. I mean, when NFL comes along with the game week 7. Is it week 18?
17.
Week 17, but they're doing something else, aren't they? As well?
They've added another game, so they're gonna have 17 games, but 18 weeks for a regular season. Yeah.
What do you mean they've added another game?
Well, we have 17 games now instead of 16 games.
But you don't have 16 games anyway when it's a bye week, do you?
No, you don't. So I guess it'll still be 16 weeks, but you'll have actually.
Wait, how did they add 17 games? How did they add 17 games? That's
They've taken one away from the preseason, and they are going to swap every year. AFC gets home game this year. NFC gets home game next year. So this next year, all the NFC teams are going to the AFC home for that last game of the year.
No, but what I'm saying is, how can it be 17 games? There's only 32 teams.
Yeah, they're all just playing an extra week. They won't have equal home games and away games.
Oh no, but you said 17 games a week. Like you said there'll be 17 games in 1 week. All right, that's why didn't make sense. Right.
17 games.
Yeah, I know. They're all playing an extra game. So it's a 17-week season. Right. So I heard this thing that they're doing, like, the double Monday Night Football comes in this year.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just taking one game away from Sunday. So there's no other reason for there to be double Monday Night Football. It's just a different change of format.
And I think it's you're going to be able to see, like, you could flex a lot of things out so you're not stuck with trash. Or you're going to have 2 games just in case one of them is shit, that you hope there's going to be one good one.
So the Thursday game's staying.
Thursday has to stay where it is, and Monday has to stay where it is, but there's going to be 2 games because you can't say, well, this game is shit, now play Sunday, because your whole schedule, you're like, well, fuck, I had an extra day. So
can you imagine that this pandemic isn't sorted entirely for this season?
That it's only going to be from one season?
No, that it's not entirely sorted by this season.
Oh.
Like it's not full fans.
Oh, it will be. It will be. It'll be at the least. It's going to be half, at the fucking least, and I'll be happy with that.
No, I won't be. But the thing is that so my point of all of this was, if WWE going up against double NFL on Monday, with the current product that they're putting out, they're dead. Like
I know that I was listening to a Double J show today, the replay that Conrad put out, and I listened to it. It's a fucking long one. It's like that 4-hour fucking show. But in the middle of it, they would do a lot of breaks, and they would talk to Jeff Jarrett about certain things, which was interesting. And he had said something about the product being shit, and he had mentioned, don't get it wrong, he has to listen to the fans. However, he answers to Wall Street. He does not have to do what the fan. It matters what Wall Street says, not what the fans say. And I'm like, and as long as he is selling, which he fucking is, and that third hour makes them fucking money, they don't care about their product. They getting fucking what they want, and that's money. And the only way that anything changes is when we all fucking really stop.
Yeah, but how? But what number is that? Because if you'd asked me a year ago what that number would be, like I would think that would be that we're there. Like this number is unacceptable to be under 2 million. Like if
how much? What is the rating? How many people watch? I never even know.
Oh, it's usually between 1.6 and 1.9.
Mm-hmm.
Like yesterday was a 1.9, but that's coming off the WrestleMania show that was a 2. I can't believe only 100,000 people abandoned the show after last week's show.
That's true. Yeah, I'm surprised it's that high too. I mean, and you know what they usually say, it's it's always the next week. So I would expect next week to be really bad.
I mean, this show is fucking nothing. Like, I mean, we could talk about SmackDown as well, but I mean, just this Raw, there's nothing. Like, Fiend's off it again.
I don't know why he gets to have so much time off. The fuck?
There's got to be something going on. There has to be some truth to. I don't think there's truth to that story that Bo Dallas was playing him, but there must be truth to the story where he's having like some kind of mental issues or he's completely checked out, because he came back like fat, which is why I think he lost the match. And I think they also lost the match because they knew that he was just coming in to do Mania, and that was it. He seems like he's mentally checked out of wrestling in some way.
Probably, and you know what? Rightfully so. If he came up with this whole character and this and that, and they're really, I mean, I'm decently fine with what they have him do when he's there, because it's just something different to see. It's not just the same fucking anything like that we see every week. So I go, all right, it's like a fucking colorful fucking light. I go, okay, there's something new here. But I mean, the main storyline now is that did MVP hire the fucking, what do they fucking call them? I almost want to say the Reckoning. The Retribution. Yeah. And he says no. And what about that interview afterwards where they just start saying animals and then run across one that's extinct and then say, we're going to make everyone extinct? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get their masks ripped off, which was a brutal fucking swing to the face with the mask. I thought he fucked them up.
I can't believe that they fucking took their masks off like that and left them just out there. To be seen who they were, especially Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah, him of all people.
And Corey Graves is sitting there going, "Oh,
that's what he looks like."
It's the first time we've seen their faces. It's like, hold on a minute.
Yeah,
you're supposed to pretend now that you don't watch NXT. So when all these people call up, they go, "Oh, that's so and so. That's Keith Lee. That's Damian Priest," and they know what it is. Like there's NXT awareness. So why are you pretending you don't know who this guy is?
And you know, the black guy looks so much better with that mask. I think that mask on him is a great fucking look. He looks like the fucking Predator. And I was like, he looks pretty fucking ordinary without the fucking mask. I thought it's a good character for him to have it. Obviously, this is to get them the fuck out of there. I would hope this is to, you know, get them, keep pushing them away.
It might be difficult to wrestle with a mask on low like that.
Yeah, but doesn't it have like stripes in it? Like it's fucking Hannibal Lecter-ish, you know?
Oh, listen, I'm not saying it's a knee to your throat, but
sure. Well, let me start going through these things. I have a couple notes for Raw throughout it. All of a sudden, Shelton Benjamin and Alexander, they're fucking jobbers now. They go from Hurt Business Tag Team Champions, and now the Viking Raiders are back, so now everyone lose to them. All of a sudden, there's somebody again. Which bored me from the fucking get-go before they ever fucking got hurt.
This is what I said to when I saw Drew was getting stuck into rematches, was about to go into rematches with Lashley, and we, you know, kind of he said to me, if you have any ideas, then just shoot them over.
Please.
He goes, because I was like saying, oh, this is terrible. He goes, if you have any ideas, shoot them over. And I actually texted him back and went, get injured. get injured.
Go away for a little while.
Get injured. Go. Come back when all the fans are back. Get a video package. They'll go crazy when you come out.
That would, you know what? You don't tell a fucking lie either. That ain't fucking bad. But
he's not going to do that.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, what could he do? I mean, that's chicken shit. Charlotte talks in the ring. I laughed the other week, wasn't it? You know, I'm tired of being humble. When the fuck did she ever do a character where she was humble? Now she's gonna, you know, Asuka says she'll beat her tonight. Okay, that's our main event for the night. As we said, Orton and Riddle, and RKO into a crucifix, and then it's like, oh my God, you know, we should extra support Riddle. We should throw so much of our support and get behind him 110% because of all these fucking loser fucking nerds that are wrestling fans, these disgusting fucking slobs that want to be holier than thou and say he should be fucking fired. When
it's
meanwhile,
because like
it was told she fucking lied.
This is the thing, right? Yeah, but they don't have a fucking clue about anything like that.
I fucking hate them.
They don't know anything about, this is the main thing I wanted to like talk about when the releases all happened this week. I wanted to fucking say that, like, particularly like this show that we've slightly cleaned up. I mean, it's still our show, but it's like obviously we steer away from like certain
Words?
saying and things. But the thing is,
Not really.
The thing is with it is that we need to be like the absolute contrast to these people, and in terms of like, even if it gets us like thrown off, that's fine. Like, we didn't lose.
And it won't even get us thrown off. Nobody, you can't throw somebody off of this fucking
but that's
thing.
the thing. I don't want to be in linked to those dickheads at all, because when I sit there and they're going, "Oh, how can you fire the Iconics and keep Matt Riddle and the Velveteen Dream?" You know what? It's one word. It's talent, you fucking pieces of shit.
And who draws
it's called
something?
fucking talent. But Velveteen Dream has fucking more fucking talent in his fucking right finger than those Iconics had. I mean, like, Peyton looked good. But like, fucking, that was all surgery. And obviously she has a fucking kid with perfect 10. They won't look, like her.
No, they'll say, who did she cheat with? That's what they'll think.
Right. And then fucking Billy Kay, I mean, come on. Like, together they had like a thing, but you can't be sitting there going, "Oh, like, bring them back, hashtag bring back the Icon." It's like, fuck off with your hashtags. Like, bring them back, but fire Riddle, fire Dream. Like, everybody was in there going, get rid of the Dream, get rid of the Dream, get rid of Dream.
That is amazing. He's one of the greatest.
For you, as this is so fucking boring, and you don't want someone to come back because they chatted, they tried to speak to someone who's underage, but not in the state that he was underage in, henceforth why he didn't get arrested. So you are not the judges and the jurors. You are not the ones that should be able to do this. But the problem is this. The problem came when they felt like they had this God-given right, was when the WWE fired Enzo. That was the biggest bag of bullshit that ever happened. And he should never ever have gone, because with him speaking is just embarrassing for anybody in the WWE that calls themselves a main event act and tries to go out there and talk. Now, I understand all these guys will say we're scripted to death, and when we're given a chance to do it, like we were at WrestleMania, and they were given a lot of credit for that, particularly Drew and Owens for promos that they cut. Well, WWE have cut that out now.
Yeah.
They cut out what was universally praised in that filler period. Like, most people said, these guys did a decent job in terms of filling that 30 minutes on the fly. Well, I firstly think they got too much credit for that, because I expect every single wrestler to be able to do that anyway. So I think that they did what I expected them to do. But obviously, the company, if anybody should have had a wake-up call for it was the company, who obviously don't think that they should do this, but who don't think they could do this, but that's not changed anything, because they're still doing scripted shit. You got Rhea Ripley last week reading off these fucking cue cards, and then you've got WWE editing it off the network. So nothing is going to change. This show is just fucking shit. It just goes from match to match to match to match to match. I don't know who it's for, because these dickheads that are on the internet that want everybody fired and want to dictate how the product is this the direction that they are dictating? Because I know WWE looks very similar to AEW, but I mean, at least on the AEW show, you have stories and you have like Mike Tyson and things going on. You do actually have like a bunch of stories going on, even though it takes fucking forever to like
and the wrestlers get to fucking say. They get to fucking do some creative too, where on this
the problem on that show is that you have a lot of people, so-and-so's in a storyline with so-and-so, so what they do is, I don't know, Cody's in or Hangman's in a story about to go into a story with Omega. So what Hangman will do is he'll go and have a 20-minute match with someone that's nothing to do with it, someone that's like way down the card, and take 20 minutes to beat him. Christian wants a world title shot. He's fucking makes his debut. It takes him 25 minutes to beat Frankie Kazarian. That's the kind of shit that they do that makes no sense. But they don't give you any of the good matches on TV, which is like the primary thing that they're trying to avoid. I mean, they've hired 1 million people, so they can do it. They can keep people away from people. But it's just boring. It's just a boring show. Like the pay-per-views, I think you look forward to, because that's where you get the matches that they've been building or semi-building up for a few months. And obviously that, again, helps having the 5 pay-per-views a year or 6 pay-per-views a year, whatever they do. That goes back to it. But again, like, they're not going to take this third hour off. We've been talking about it since it's been bad. Do you realize that it's going to be fucking 10 years next year?
Wow, really?
This third hour got added.
Wow, I remember in my YouTube show, we used to have a segment called the Raw 3-Hour Watch, and it was a countdown. How many weeks would it be until they went back to 2 hours because they'll realize how horrible it was? Oh, fuck. I'd still be doing that. How about...
Do you remember how good they made do you remember how good they made the first 3-hour show where they had fucking Rocky on there and Punk turned on him at the end of the show? And
I don't remember any of that.
You were sitting there for 1 week thinking, well, this might be pretty good. maybe they're going to try like fucking... really hard to make it good.
I used to be all excited when they would say, next week is a 3-hour special Raw. Oh, I would get fucking excited. Ooh, it's a special every once in a while. And now I'm like, oh, if this show was an hour, I'd be so fucking happy. It'd be quick. It'd be jam-packed. Fucking garbage. Now, why did Mandy and fucking Dana come out to show fucking highlights from prior weeks when... I laughed that they showed the highlight of them watching her fall down. Meanwhile, that's edited out.
Right.
I'm like, what? I thought they were trying to forget that happened. Why would they edit that? I mean, there's such pussies like, oh, I don't want people to see that we had a mistake. It's like, oh, fuck. I wonder if the Titus falling under the ring is edited out, too. Okay, Alexa, I guess she wants to be edgy because she says bitch and ass. So that's her being an edgy girl. And so they've completely stolen the story.
You mean Oscar?
No, Alexa.
I didn't
that
hear her
too.
say bitch and ass.
Oh, Alexa says that she pushed that bitch off the swing and she fell right on her ass, all that kind of shit.
In that bit. Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
But they're stealing the storyline of Twilight Zone with Talking Tina. Did you ever see that Twilight Zone?
No.
Talking Tina was a doll that a little girl had, and her stepfather was a real fucking asshole. And the doll would always say, "I'm Talking Tina, and I love you." And then the dad got along with it.
I don't understand how Bray Wyatt was doing his character and Alexa was doing her character. Yeah. How has she then now suddenly always been possessed? How was there a doll talking to her when she only joined with Bray and was resistant to it? If you remember, he captured her. So how does Alexa have a back? It's like they're doing shit. Like when there's stories where we turn around and go, you need to explain how we got to it. They're giving you a background to a story that doesn't need a background. Like we know how Alexa got like this. She got like this because the Fiend captured her, and now she's saying that she's got more powerful than the Fiend. Why did they add a background to this? I mean, unless the guy is now completely off TV.
Yeah, he disappeared and you just say forget. But still, we're never supposed to remember Alexa Bliss used to be different. And I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, she's not attractive anymore at all with her fucking, she looks like she has too many gums. Her teeth look fucking odd. Everything's just, the nose.
She won your thing.
And I give everyone still shit. I say, there's your fucking Miss Lingus. This is what people fucking voted, which means they didn't follow any fucking rules.
Listen, I did tell you this would happen.
Yeah, and I was scared it was happening, but they didn't follow any fucking rules either. You have to look at the person as they are on TV. You don't go back in fucking history and fucking look at what used to be. The fuck is this? She look like a fucking
I
child.
also said to you that they would like how she is now.
You know what? That's very true because there's a bunch of pedophiles in my fucking audience. That's what happened. So that's fucking raw, but who gives a shit? With SmackDown, we got Pat McAfee. He's commentary now, which I think he'll get better, but I mean, it was a little rough.
It was rough in terms of he didn't know if he was heel or face, and also he was giving nothing to like work with on the show. Like
no.
That was a really bad fucking SmackDown coming off the back of Mania and stuff. Obviously, no Edge, Bryan, Cesaro's like gets his one win. They're telling you he's won one time on pay-per-view, and he comes out there and gets up in front of Roman's face. It's like, who's going to believe?
Yeah, I know, right away. Let me go. And I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Apparently, McAfee has not met Vince yet. Like that show, Vince wasn't at that SmackDown, so he wasn't in McAfee's ear all night. It'll be different than when he's in his fucking ear, though.
I thought it was the other guy that said that he hadn't met Vince yet.
He hadn't met him. I don't know if McAfee's met Vince like in the past, but like that night, Vince wasn't there, so he didn't have the earpiece going on.
Right. So McAfee also that Adnan guy. He was saying he hasn't met Vince either.
Yeah,
he was talking about how he was hired.
And Vince said, "Who is this guy?" or something. I'm like, how is this? What kind of fuck? This is very WCW-ish, where no one knows what's going on. It's very fucking close to that. Yeah, as we said, I just don't buy the Cesaro thing. It's too much damage, even though he just won this last one. And then he ends up, in a match against Jey Uso later that night, but Rollins interferes, so that's not done yet.
No. And then also, like, earlier on in the show, you get fucking the Street Profits coming out. And I tell you, if people are borderline on Bianca Belair, because some people are like totally behind it, these guys that are easy to like get on board with anything. But some people are like, not sold on her. She's not a good promo. Does she deserve it? We prefer Sasha, whatever. The one thing that you're gonna do that's gonna make sure people go to the wrong side and be like, actually, fuck her. Like, I don't like her, is by putting her with these fucking clowns that introduced her. They were so fucking throw the remote at the TV annoying. Right?
My note was, did you know that Bianca and Sasha cured cancer at WrestleMania? Because that's how much hype they are getting. That this is the greatest thing that has ever happened in wrestling's fucking history. This is a company who never let blacks do anything. And now all of a sudden they're sucking their own dicks going, the first this, the first that. Fuck, what year is it? And now they're fucking busy. Fuck. I mean, it made more sense when Rock was doing stuff. They never mentioned anything because that's the way it should be. There shouldn't be this is this kind of person. It's a fucking person that's good. How about that? What do you have to fucking make a point of saying this person is black, this person's born in Ireland? Who cares?
No, and that's the thing. I can understand it when they're doing it with the whole woman thing because, but that's the thing. They just followed these movements. During the whole time where they started the women's movement, there was a whole Me Too shit going on. So they decided to jump on board with that because it was happening in politics. Plus, obviously, they knew the UFC were making a fucking ton of money with Ronda, so maybe they could do it, and maybe they could at the same time integrate daughters and wives and everything into the product. Obviously, it didn't work. Yeah. And then, obviously, now the new thing is that, give the black people everything. Like, let's fucking make it fair. Like, they're being overlooked for jobs and jobs and opportunities, and they're not. But like, that's what the narrative is. Like, just because they're fucking being shot by fucking police officers more so than any other race doesn't mean that they're being overlooked for fucking job opportunities and things like this. So it's like they're forced into the main event of WrestleMania, not on their like fucking merits and talents. But the thing is that what fucking would piss me off is if I'm Sasha Banks, right, who has a body of work that could have carried her into the main event. Like, she could have just solely gone in. She would when the women were in, when they were doing the whole thing when Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte were involved. Yeah, like. You could have put Sasha into that match, maybe instead of Charlotte, or maybe not. I don't think you could have replaced Ronda or Becky, but Sasha could have been in that match, right? Nobody would have said anything. Yeah. And it would have just been, she could have gone in as a woman, not as a black. Yeah. So for her to like go in and get her main event, and it's all under the umbrella of politics, it's fucking bullshit because she's talented enough to have got there anyway. If the other three women got there, Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky, and she is more talented than all three of those, then she could have got there anyway. But now it's always going to have the fucking asterisk. It's always going to be, oh yeah, like the women main evented that year when fucking Black Lives Matter was a thing. Yeah, and Bobby Lashley, he finally got the belt when Black Lives Matter was a thing.
It's like they didn't earn it then, yeah.
No, of course.
They don't get the credit of earning it because that's what's going to be entailed with it.
Well, it's not a problem for me with Bianca didn't earn it, and she's only there because of this whole situation. Like, she is literally the beneficiary of a guy getting a fucking knee on his neck like that. Like, she's the winner of that. There's all these fucking dickhead black people I'm watching on TV right now jumping up and down going, oh, we won. You didn't win shit. You're still poor. Go back to the ghetto. Like, you didn't win anything. Like, what did you win? Like, they're still going to kill you, like, next week and next year. Like, you didn't win anything. Just one guy got arrested. That's it. He's in prison. The other guy's dead. He lost. The guy that got into jail lost. You didn't win anything either.
You know what I was waiting for? I was waiting for the jury to say, well, we said guilty because we didn't want to have a riot. And then I thought everyone would riot in the streets like when their team wins the championship and they riot for anyway.
But that's the thing. I don't get, like, all of this all this bandwagon jumping onto the who does this appease? Like, because long term, the future, it's not going to be a case of. I mean, WWE almost burying themselves here by doing this and making such a big deal of it. You then look back at the last 36 years and you go, "Oh, you took 37 years to do this." Well, so you were racist, and then, like, you can they literally have to go back. And
I only know one black guy they missed out on that they should have made champion.
Mr. T.
No. Yeah, he could have won the 24/7 title since he was a celebrity. Only Ahmed Johnson should have fucking been champion. I don't. Who else was ever fucking qualified? JYD going to be a world champion? No.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. The talent hasn't really come through.
Yeah, it's not like they've had 50 fucking black people. I
mean, Shelton could go with Triple H and Michaels.
He has wrestling ability, but not the charisma ability.
No, but that's the whole point. Nobody ever came through, and that's the thing. Look, fucking, it wasn't like nobody main evented ever. It was, you started with Mr. T. He did the first WrestleMania. The Rock came in. Mm-hmm. Nobody was talking about him being black at all because you know what? Mr. T was just a fucking massive celebrity who they needed to make WrestleMania what it was off the back of the A-Team and the whole bit with Clubber Lang and everything. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew who Mr. T was. The Rock was The Rock who got organically over. And since then, the WWE haven't determined that anybody else was big enough. I mean, if Lashley had main evented that year when Trump was there, that would have probably been fine. Like, yeah. I don't think people would have been going, oh, how was this main eventing over one of the title matches? It'd be like, well, because the owner's going to get his head shaved and the last thing you're going to see is Trump being stunned. So it can close the show. If you really wanted to do it then, there were times to, like, push people and make more sense. Yeah, Ahmed. Yeah, Bobby Lashley. I honestly trying to think of even one more that you could have
Farouk, maybe? But that character of Farouk might have been, I mean, the original one was rough, but
Ron Simmons was just very, like, fucking banged up by then. I mean,
he was in later in life, yeah.
They had guys come in and they seemed like they wanted to do, they were looking at people that were black and big and black, but they were so massively untalented that you just couldn't do it. Like, I know, like, Elijah Burke was way well rated, but he never got there. I know Ezekiel Jackson was a big guy that they wanted to do something with, but they didn't.
Charisma.
I know,
for
like him. I know they were like Orlando Jordan just couldn't work, but like he was somebody that they tried to make. They put the US title on him. Like, there just hasn't been, like, the talent there. And the thing is that this is, like, completely forced. Sasha, no. But Bianca, yes, completely. Like, I'm not sold on it at all. It's just so fucking frustrating to watch. And the weirdest thing is that out of these people that are there, if you'd fucking put Montez Ford into a different gimmick, the way that he wrestles and wasn't in his tag team, and individually he had done something less annoying, he could have done something. Mm-hmm. Like, he's better than she is.
Oh, yeah, by far, with athleticism and all that kind of stuff. Another weird thing that was on SmackDown, last of my notes here, other than, oh, by the way, Commander Aziz is Dabba-Kato's new name. I'm like, oh my God. Here's another one that we've never seen before. Who's this guy? That's fucking funny to me. And the other thing was, when they said the new move that is new for WWE, but Cesaro's done it over his career a million times, the UFO, where he's spinning around, right? And they said it was the most impressive moment in Mania history. Never mind the body slam by Hogan and Andre. The most impressive in Mania history. That's something. That move. They don't know they forget history. That's all there is to it. But that's all I really have for this whole fucking week. The other thing I rather review was WWE's Lost Treasures. That was fucking fantastic, that show.
I need to watch that still.
Oh, so I thought it was going to be different because I thought it was going to be about collectible things like that are out there now, like me and you might have them. So I'm like, oh, good, I could watch this. And when they say, oh, these cards are valuable, do you have them? You know, and you can look through your shit to see if you have them. It's not that. It's like real hardcore shit, like Mankind's first fucking outfit that has been lost, and they find it. From a collector, and you know it's shit like that. The first Mr. Sacco, so and then you get to see all the shit in the warehouse that they have, like, and how much the value is of a lot of stuff. It's real fucking interesting. I think it was $30,000 is Andre's boots
from WrestleMania 3.
I think it's just a pair of his boots. They're red. They're red boots. So it's not even Mania 3. Just his fucking original boots. And I think the $1 Million Man's belt is $300,000. There was some crazy fucking shit in there. But a lot of people, I think you would really get a kick out of it because you have all your collector stuff and rooms made of things. Like, people have rooms that are fucking, you know, this is their wrestling room with a lot of Bret Hart fucking tights that are signed and bought a whole bunch of outfits by different guys that I'm like, how the fuck did these people get these fucking things, you know? But they're buying them.
Well, you can get, like, I always would have done a wrestling room in my house had we not been in this era. And it's like, it's not, people will go, oh, that's pretty fucking strong, like, in terms of being that reactive to the pandemic. If you always plan to do it, you always plan to do it. It's like, actually, it's been going, like, downhill for a while. Like, it wasn't a good product. I mean, even to the point where they had to make an announcement and say, yeah, we're sorry, this product's shit because it's all Baron Corbin's fault. And
it's a long time ago.
Yeah, and now we're going to start listening to the fans.
But
like,
you should just have all the old stuff. I mean, it's like my Bears stuff. I don't have anything new. I don't have anybody's new jerseys signed. It's all the fucking glory years. That's what's got you into it in the first place. So you could totally have your wrestling room and have it be all the fucking old shit, 80s, 90s. Nothing fucking really, you know, nothing in the fucking from 2006 on, 2010?
But it's still acknowledging the same fucking company. It's still that acknowledgement of the company.
But that's the same. I'm still saying it's the same as if your soccer football team became trash, terrible management. Are you gonna fucking not have all your old shit and go, oh, remember this championship and this player and all that shit and have all their old stuff? You say, well, yeah, they fucking suck now, but, you know, it's the same with my Bears. I go, well, I know my management is garbage, and I know they're fucking incapable, and they're a shit fucking organization, but I do enjoy the past history, which I will fucking hang on to until they fucking finally get their heads out of their ass.
Yeah, but it doesn't, but that's the thing, like, in terms of obviously, I don't have 4 or 5 like rooms in here, so
yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I don't feel like anything now needs to be that passionately stated where you come into a room and go, hey, I love the WWF. Like, look at my room. It's an entire room dedicated to the WWF. I just don't want that. Like, I want some WWF. Like I have the machine in the corner, and obviously I have like so many figures that I have to like have one display cabinet. But it's like, okay, so if the WWF gets the back of the room, or gets a quarter of the room, that's fine. If Michael Jackson is is painted on the wall sitting on his crates, that's fine. If there's a fucking signed Karate Kid photo on the wall where there would have been Brock and Brian and Hogan and the title belts and all the WrestleManias I've been to, I've got autographed pictures from all of them. Like that's different. I mean, a lot of the stuff, it's not a case of lumping it together and putting it in one room. It's up, but it's like, there's 3 pictures in my bedroom, but they're behind my door. Like, so they're there, but you need to open the door to see them. In Austin's room, there's all the wrestlers that he's got signed are like in one cabinet now. And above it is the pictures of him meeting the wrestlers. And his WrestleMania plaques are away from that next to his TV, and his belts are like up on his wall. Like, so he's got his own belts. He's got his plaques up. He's got his figures up in separate parts of the room. I've got 3 pictures up in my room, and in the living room, it's all spread out. It's WWF. There's some WWF in every single room, but it's not a case of let's make a WWF room. Let's fucking celebrate our fandom. No, it's a case of I know this stuff is valuable. I know this stuff if I'm absolutely in love with it, it's up because it's the WWF, and also some of it represents moments that we witness together, because you can't take away the moment. If you enjoyed a moment and you were there, when the streak ended, or when Brian won, or WrestleManias I went to with Austin, like a picture of me, Austin, and Hogan, that's up. That's almost separate from wrestling. I almost consider that to be a holiday photo. I think of, do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah, I completely have separated it in my mind. To me, I think of the picture of me, Austin, and Hogan as a holiday photo. I don't really associate it with wrestling, which is crazy, but it's a different mindset. Because if I think of that as me being a mark, I wouldn't have it up. But
I mean, it's Hogan. It's the end all be all,
Right, but this is the thing. There's a wider representation of things that I like and watch, and I feel like it's time to put stuff in the cupboard. It's time to as the $1 Million Man said, everybody's got a price. Well, everything in here now does have a price.
You have a limit.
I'm not married to anything unless it's got mine or Austin's name on it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't say to Billy or to Austin, I need one item signed by Steve Austin. I need one item signed by Hulk Hogan. I need one item signed by Brian. Look, I need about 10 things that are in this place, and everything else, it does have a valuation in my mind. Or maybe it might be overinflated because there is some emotional sentiment to it. But this is the thing. This mindset didn't exist years ago. For me, it was always a problem. It's people would go oh, what would you are you going to sell this stuff? And I'd be I always think about it. I always look at the value and stuff. But when it comes down to it, the stuff that I previously listed on eBay is very, very fucking limited.
Yeah.
Now I could give stuff away on Russo's show. And it's we're giving some stuff away on Russo's show. I'm putting I've sold a lot of Hasbro figures in the last 12 months on auction, and that's the fucking good stuff. But my mindset is that, look, that's the stuff that's getting loads and loads of money. And if you can formulate the emotional detachment from the Hasbros, which is, for me, has the most emotional attachment, then these fucking signed Mattel figures that I've got signed in the last 10 years, whether it be fucking Finn Balor, AJ Styles, whatever, and I'm talking about my ones. I would never sell anything that he got signed. I would never sell my son's stuff.
Yeah.
But my Finn Balor figure and my AJ Styles figure and my Seth Rollins figures, I don't care, at all. If we've got one in the house, which belongs to him, then that's absolutely fine. I don't care about this current generation of wrestlers. They're not stars to me.
Yeah.
They're who's
it's because you're older than them practically too. That I'm getting there where I'm fuck, I'm older than these people. Why?
No, listen, Cav. Like, it's not that. I don't think. Like, it doesn't. If someone's younger and they're fucking like doing it, like it's like, it's weird because it hasn't happened for a while. I mean, you're older than Randy Orton.
45. How old's Randy Orton?
Younger than you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's usually football players that are all younger. It's
So
like
Randy Orton was 20. Randy Orton was 24 in 2004.
Okay.
So that was 17 years ago. So he's 41 now.
Oh, how time fucking flies.
But Randy Orton is a star to me.
Sure.
Like I don't think that I would. If I had one item of Orton, I think he would fall in the category where I wouldn't fucking get rid of it. I mean, the guy's fucking. He's been around for ages and he's had some like real fucking shit. But he's also like been in there with like fucking everybody. And actually, when he's actually switched on, he can still any time he can still be better than all these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Like Bray, even in this, even though he's been the most mismanaged person, I still think like the Fiend or Bray Wyatt, I would still consider to be a star. Like more so than Drew. I mean, a Roman. Like I don't think that. I would, anything that you have from Roman. If there's an autograph signing for Roman, and I can get like a ticket to it for me in Austin or whatever, I would still take it. But the fact is that back in the day, like all this stuff I had this fucking Shelton figure and Shelton Benjamin figure and Rey Mysterio figure and Christian figure and fucking Tyson Tomko and Trish and Leah. Like I met all these people and I never at once thought, oh, this is shit or this is shit or when when MVP got fired, for example, and I had his figure signed or whatever, I wouldn't think, this is worthless now or whatever. I still think that everybody got to a decent level of stardom even then. Like I remember we were thinking to ourselves, oh, they should do more with fucking Carlitos. They need to do more with Carlito. They need to do more with Mr. Kennedy. They need to do more with Rob Van Dam. Like it's always like, oh, why is it always Cena? Why is it always Cena? Now it's like, who are you pushing for? Are you actually sitting there going, they need to do more with Riddle? Like they need to do more with Keith Lee. They need to do more with Cesaro. They need to do more. Like you're not, because you don't actually really think that they should do more with these people. Because they've booked them.
The thing with the Riddle one, obviously, I just think they fucked up with the whole making him a fucking drug fucking guy. That whole thing is the fucking joke. So it's not like they have him lose all the time, but the gimmick is what they need to change over there.
Well, this is the gimmick that they're in love with because they're out of touch.
Yeah, and it's Spicoli. They're all goofy with that. I know. All right. Well, where could everybody find you and get all your betting picks and everything like that for real sports?
So that's at lockbetting.com. I should have done more work tonight because I was waiting actually to see. Apparently, if this verdict had gone a different way, there would have been loads of postponements.
Oh,
like loads of players.
That's true. Yeah, they weren't going to play. Yeah,
some players weren't going to play, and the Minnesota teams. Apparently, like Minnesota would have like suspended sports for 2 weeks or something. Like all Minnesota sports wouldn't have, for the riots and things that they were expecting. But I mean, that guy was never gonna. There was never going to be another verdict. Like that was political as well. Not to say that he wasn't.
You don't need to kneel on the guy for that long in the fucking neck. I mean, it was clear.
Nah. But did you see the way he like responded to it?
What? Who? Oh, when they said the thing?
Yeah.
I caught the very end where it was already said and he was just standing there. So I didn't see the initial words and then the reaction. Did he do anything?
No, he was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, what's he going to do? I mean, what is he going to scream and yell? You can't. You got to just take your fucking shit. I mean, who the fuck would want to be a cop? You imagine? Fuck this.
I think it takes a special kind of like prick to want to do that job anyway.
That's true.
I can't. I think they're all fucking pigs. I've never had a good experience with them. They've never fucking resolved anything for me. Like my fucking landlord. I was when I was in my old flat and I was had a falling out with my landlord. The guy who lived underneath me, he had a kid who was playing with Austin's electric scooter, and I said, I can come back for this. I said, like, you know, you can use this, and I'll come back for it. So, because I said, as long, you know, because you're already looking after a couple of my stuff because I can't fit into storage. So he's like, okay. So when I came back for the for like the Hoover and a few other bits that I left there, he told me that the landlord had come in and had stolen my scooter because he turned Austin's, because he said that I owed him money.
Oh my God.
And he saw like and he went in and basically got it from his girlfriend, not him, because the guy who I lent it to, he said he would never have given it to him, but he said he basically came into the flat and was asking questions about why I'd been, because basically I came back one time and he wasn't in, and he went, oh, why is Billy in, like, asking why is Billy here asking to see Chris? And he was like, oh, because he's still got his scooter in there. He goes, oh, I'll take that, he owes me money, and took it off his girlfriend. And I reported him to the police, and they did nothing about it. They were like, oh, we don't get involved in civil issues. It's like, he went into a fucking apartment and stole an electric scooter and claimed I owed him money. The only civil part of that, the only civil law part of that, is if he had a civil case against me and he was claiming money, then the only way you would get involved is by saying, yeah, his person does or doesn't owe you money. It's not been determined by a judge, and there is no case, because he's basically just decided that I owe him money and he's going to steal something from me. Like the only factual part of that is stealing, but the police did absolutely nothing about it. They were like, oh, we don't get involved in any kind of like civil matters. It's like, what are you talking about? There's no civil matter. Like, all there is a theft. So, and there's other instances where, in contrast to that, I put like I was having an argument with my son's mum, who, like, some money I'm supposed to send her every month didn't get to her while I was in New York. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I can't get access to it now. So she said, well, you can't speak to Austin on the phone. So I put a picture of her, like, with a dildo, one of her dildo pictures.
Oh.
I went, oh, my son's so lucky to have this woman as his mother who won't let me speak to her
oh my
on
God.
the phone. Right. So I land from New York, and I get arrested on the plane.
Wow.
They drive me 1 hour down to the police station where it was reported at, and they keep me in a cell for 13 hours. They release me at they know I've got no, like, money because I've just come because they took me off the plane. They release me at 1 a.m. Where I can't get any public transport, so someone has to pick me up. I didn't have to go back down all the way down back to the airport the next day to get my luggage, which I couldn't retrieve.
Jesus Christ, that's unbelievable.
And they knew they couldn't charge me with anything. So this is the difference between being white and being any other color, because you can't use these fucking pig cunts for anything, but they will arrest you. And they will pull you over if you drive a better car than their fucking dog shit salaries can afford. Because I've always had a better car than these cunts. And they've always pulled me over for it. So, yeah, I hope these fucking pig fucks get fucked as hard as they can. I hope anyone that wants to be a police officer is fucking shot dead, to be honest with you.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, I told you. Let's get thrown off.
Please.
So then we can say,
yeah,
we can say, hey, we really wanted to do the show for you guys, but they threw us off.
Oh God, because God knows I do not want to do this fucking show anymore. Fucking talking about wrestling nonsense. All my nonsense. Go to @LingusMafia on Twitter, and you could join my Patreon nonsensical multi shows over there. He's Billy. I'm Cav, and we'll see you next time.
My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as a big-ass piece of shit.